Hello, welcome to Yoga Rach. Rach, thank you very much for joining me and happy nearly full moon. So this video is coming out today on Thursday. Next week on Tuesday, so the 16th of July, it's a full moon and it's also a partial lunar eclipse. So we're right in the middle of eclipse season. We've also got Mercury going retrograde, so hopefully this video has come up all right on time. But this is all about going with the flow. So trying to stay grounded and also allowing ourselves to flow. So in that essence, where the sun's in Cancer still, but the moon is moving into Capricorn. So bringing in that, the sun in Cancer, that water going with the flow. And then we're also bringing in the moon with the essence of Capricorn, which is trying to find our steadiness, trying to find a little bit of balance. So take your time going through this sequence, move nice and slowly, listen to your body. If you wobble, if you need extra support for your balance, then you might grab a block. You could even, if you're practicing this at home and you've got a chair that you can bring nearby, so you can use that to help, which is always absolutely fine. So always use the support there when you need it. And that's basically the sort of lesson that we want to learn from Cancer and Capricorn. So take your time, just moving nice and slowly. So just have a few moments seated. Allow yourself to settle into your practice before we get up and flow. So you might have the legs crossed, hands might rest into the lap, onto the thighs, the knees, release and relax the shoulders, give them a few little shrugs. Close the eyes, bring your awareness to your breath. If you practiced week 1, you might move into the mantra and the mudra for week 1, or you might move into that after this practice, so I'll link it at the end. Flutter the eyes open and slowly find your way towards the top of the mat. So let the feet, the legs be about hip width apart, slight softness in the knees, let the arms relax down by your side. Just gently flow with the breath. We're going to go through one round of our moon salutation. So you inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, folding forward, bend into the knees, letting the fingertips, the palms or the back of the hands find the mat, tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale, halfway lift. Lift the chin looking forward. Whilst you're here, step your right foot back and bring the right knee down. Keeping the hands on the mat if you wish as you draw the chin and the chest forward, or you might reach the arms forward and up, moving into a low crescent lunge. Focusing on the breath. On your next exhale, slowly bring the hands down. Tuck under the toes to lift the knee and step the left foot back. As you draw the shoulders back, pull the tailbone high, moving into downward facing dog. Knees can have a really nice bend into them. You might have a little slow little movement walking on the spot. Gently releasing your head, your neck, your shoulders, releasing the hips. Focusing on the breath. Your transition, we're going to bring the left foot forward. Either step it straight in between the hands, you might need to nudge it there, or left leg lifts into down dog splits, three-legged dog. Pull the knee into the belly as you bring the shoulders forward and place the left foot in between the hands. If it lands behind the hands, just grab the ankle and nudge the foot forward. Place the right knee onto the mat again, draw the hips forward, lift the chin, lift the chest. Hands can stay low, or slowly lift the arms up. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling, so you're rooting down as you rise up. And so bringing the hands down. So remember, we stepped the left foot forward this time, so we're going to step forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, raise the arms up. Exhale, bringing the hands back down in front of the heart. Have a little pause before releasing the hands down by the hips. Inhale, raise the arms forward and up. Exhale, folding forward, bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, lift the chin. Whilst you're here, step the left foot back this time. Place the left knee down. Hands can stay on the mat as you lift the chin and the chest, or slowly lift the arms forward and up into your low crescent. Focusing on the breath. When you're ready, on an exhale, bring the hands down And step back, downward facing dog. The knees might be bent, you might be pausing, just focusing on the breath, or inviting a little bit of movement in if you need it. When you're ready, bring the right foot forward. You might step it there, or right leg lifts, down dog splits. Bring the knee into the belly, pull the shoulders forward, and place the right foot in between the hands. If it lands behind, grab the ankle and nudge the foot forward. Bring the left knee down. Hands can stay low as you focus on lifting the chin and drawing the hips forward, or slowly lift the arms up. Still draw the hips forward, lift the chin, focusing on the breath. On your next exhale, bring the hands down and re-step to the front foot forward. So we're going to step forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lift the chin. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, standing, raise the arms up. Exhale, bring the hand to heart center, having a pause before releasing the arms down to the hips. So that's just one round of our moon salutation. So we're going to step just a little bit away from the top of the mat so we've got a bit of room. This might be where you want to use a block, or back of the room, or back of the mat. You might want to use a block just so you have one handy for your balance, or you might be using a chair, have that nearby. So starting not quite at the top of your mat, not quite at the middle of the mat, so you've got a little bit of room front and back. Feet are hip width apart, the arms relax down by the hips. Inhale, raise the arms forward and up. As you exhale, folding forward. Bend the knees to the fingertips, the palms, the back of the hands can find the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Lift the chin. Whilst you're here, step your right foot back. So you've got the option here, so you can stay low, as you just did in your moon salutation, and the hands can stay on the mat so you can raise the arms up. Or we can keep the back knee lifted, push the right heel back, so we're active in the leg, and lift up into a high lunge. If you're feeling really wobbly, place the right knee down, focusing on the breath. So this is where we're going to move really slow, because we're going to have a go with moving into Ardha Chandrasana, our half moon pose. So slowly bring the hands down if they were lifted. If your right knee's on the mat, lift the right knee up, and you're going to lift the right foot off the mat. Walk the hands towards the top of the mat, so you're trying to keep the back long and flat, so you're not folding in. This might be where you use the block. So we've got our left foot on the mat, so we're going to keep our left hand down, either on the block, and you can change the height of the blocks to what feels right for you, or maybe the hand, the fingertips, the fist, or the palm of the hand is on the mat. And we're reaching that right leg up. Flex the foot and start to turn the hips to the right hand side. Keep your right arm where it is. So your right hand at the moment is right underneath the shoulders. And you're going to see if you can pull your arm up as though you're pulling back the string from a bow and arrow. So pull the right arm straight up, bend into the elbow, your hand will pass your shoulder, and maybe from there we reach the arm up to the ceiling. You can look down, especially if you're feeling wobbly. Focus on the breath. Slowly bring the right arm down. Step the right foot back. We can move the block out of the way as we bring the left hand down and step the left foot into downward facing dog. Focusing on the breath. Invite some movement in if you wish. And you're welcome to stay here, or you can ripple forward into plank. Knees can stay high or lowered. As you lower down, inhale into a low or high cobra. Exhale to lower, tucking under the toes. Inhale, plank, and exhale, downward facing dog. Your transition into a forward fold, either at the back, the middle, or the top of the mat. So you might walk, you might step, you might hop. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, standing, raise the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart centre, just for a pause or a breath, as we lower the hands down. So check where you've arrived. If you're at the back of the mat, the middle of the mat, or right at the top of the mat, find your way to about the middle of the top of the middle of the mat. Have the block handy if you know you need it, or if you're using a chair, perfectly fine to use something for that support. So we're going to find that on the other side. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Whilst you're here, step your left foot all the way back. So your choice. We can bring the left knee down, and don't worry whether you do low lunge on one side and high lunge on the other side, perfectly fine. We might lift the back knee. If you're lifting the back knee, stay active through that foot. So the heel's lifted, but you're pushing it back. Push into the feet, rooting down to lift up. Start to find your high lunge. If you feel wobbly, place the knee down. Maybe you're looking down at the mat. You might start to look forward, or start to lift the gaze, looking upwards into that high or low lunge, your choice. And it might vary every time you do this practice. Slowly bring the hands down. So you're going to shift forward to start to lift the back leg. So it's almost like we're moving into a bit of a warrior 3 before we move into our half moon. Place the block underneath the hand if you need that, but make sure you're pulling the hands forward. So your back's flat rather than folding in. Hand on the mat is roughly underneath the shoulders. So we've got right foot on the mat this time, so right hand on the block or on the mat. Keep your left hand on the mat. As you start to turn the hips to the left, flex the foot, keep your left hand underneath your shoulders. So remember, you're pulling the string back from a bow and arrow, so you're trying to release that. So pull the hand up as you bend into the elbow, bringing the left hand towards the shoulder, and then we reach the arm up. Woo, and I'm wobbling here, so if you're wobbling as well, bring the hands down, find that balance, don't rush. Slowly bring the left hand down, push the left foot back, bring the right hand onto the mat, and step the right foot back into downward facing dog. Pull the shoulders back, push the tailbone high. Either stay in downward dog, or if you wish to, ripple forward into plank. Knees can stay high or lower the knees down, your choice. Exhale, lower. Inhale, low or high cobra pose. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, lift up into your plank, and exhale, downward facing dog. Your transition, walk, step or hop to the top, the middle or the back of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up to standing, raise the arms up. Exhale, have a little pause, just for a breath in front of the heart. And then releasing the hands all the way down. So we're going to do one more round. You might work with that variation or something slightly different moving into that half moon. So make sure you're around the top to the middle of the mat, so you're not right at the top, not quite in the middle, so there's room in front and behind. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, folding forward, bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Whilst you're here, right foot steps back. Your choice, low or high lunge, knee down or knee lifted. The hands can stay on the mat or raise the arms up. Remember, if you're in high lunge, push that back your back. Keep active in this leg. Focusing on the breath. So we can either move into our half moon pose the same way we just did. So we brought the hands down first, or we can start to reach the arms forward, lean into the left leg, and the right leg lifts as we bring the left hand straight down onto the mat. Starting to twist the torso, the hips to the right. Keep your right hand with your right shoulder so the elbow starts to point up towards the ceiling. From here, extend the arms straight up into that half moon. So you might have landed on the block with the left hand. Maybe this time you haven't used it, whatever feels right for you. Slowly bring the right hand down. Push the right foot back and step the left foot back and move into downward dog, releasing the block if you're using the block. Staying in downward dog or yogi's choice, ripple forward into plank, knees high or low. Exhale, lower. Inhale, low or high cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, push up into your plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. Your transition, walk, step or hop into your standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lift the chin. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up to standing, raise the arms up. And exhale, lower the arms down. Have a little pause, hands in namaste in front of the heart. And then we lower the arms down. Last round for the right side. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, folding forward, bend the knees, fingertips or palms, or even back of the hands can gently rest on the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Lift the chin so you're looking forward. Step your left foot back. Either low lunge, left knee on the mat, or high lunge. Hands can stay on the mat or reach the arms up. Remember, if you're in high lunge, push the left heel back as though you're trying to place the heel onto the mat, keeping the leg active. So last chance to have a go with half moon. Either bring the hands down first, walk the hands towards the top of the mat, or have a go, start to reach the arms forward, shift the weight into your right leg, bring the right hand down either onto the block or onto the mat, start to turn the hips to the left, the torso to the left, flex the foot, keep your left hand with your shoulder, elbow is pointing up, and maybe we reach the left hand up. Focusing on the breath. You're wobbling, that's perfectly fine. When you're ready to release, bring the left hand down, step the left foot back, place the right hand onto the mat if you're on the block, step the right foot back, draw the shoulders back, tailbone high, downward facing dog. Last option for a vinyasa, so stay in downward dog if you wish, or ripple forward, plank, knees high or low, exhale, lower, inhale, low or high cobra, exhale, lower, inhale, push up into your plank, exhale, downward facing dog, just for a breath or two. When you're ready, lower the knees, knees hip width or wide, toes are touching, pull the tailbone towards the heels, resting the forehead on the mat, let the arms relax into child's pose. You're welcome to stay in child's pose for a little bit longer. If you wish to move into another practice, I will link a couple more videos on the end here so you can move back into the first two practices for our Cancer series sequence if you haven't already practiced those. If you haven't already, please do subscribe up at the bottom here. It means that you're just helping to show your support for free yoga on YouTube, so you can take your practice anywhere, wherever you are. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up, do share it, do leave a comment below. If there is anything else you would like to practice, do send in your requests, and I shall see you next week for our last practice for our Cancer series sequence. Thank you very much for joining me. Namaste.